뭐 나랑 이거 뭐야?
What really made Taehyung walk away from Jungkook? Could a long hidden secret change everything they once believed? Discover this emotional fan fiction story filled with shocking twists, heartfelt confessions, and an unforgettable ending. The practice room was unusually quiet that evening. Rain tapped gently against the large glass windows while the city lights shimmered beyond them. Normally, the room would echo with playful laughter, harmless teasing, and spontaneous singing. But tonight, something felt different. Taehyung stood near the window, staring into the distance. His expression was calm, yet his eyes carried a sadness that no one seemed able to understand. Across the room, Jungkook adjusted the sleeves of his hoodie, pretending to organize a pile of music sheets that had already been neatly stacked several times. Neither of them spoke. The silence between them felt louder than any music. The members had begun noticing the change weeks earlier. Conversations became shorter. Eye contact became rare. Shared jokes disappeared. Fans imagined countless reasons, but no one truly knew what had happened. Except Jungkook. He knew every reason. And he hated himself for it. He remembered the night everything changed. It had been after a long rehearsal. Everyone else had gone home, leaving only the two of them inside the studio. Taehyung had walked over with his usual bright smile, carrying 2 cups of coffee. "You've been working too hard," Taehyung had laughed. "Take a break." Jungkook smiled, but something inside him refused to return that warmth. There was a letter folded carefully inside his backpack. A letter that had arrived anonymously. Inside were photographs. Not real evidence. Just carefully edited images designed to create misunderstanding. The message underneath was simple. "If you truly care about Taehyung, stay away from him." At first Jungkook laughed. It seemed ridiculous. Until more letters appeared. Then phone calls. Then private information only someone close could have known. Someone was watching. Someone wanted to destroy their friendship. Jungkook chose silence. He believed distance would protect Taehyung. He never imagined that silence could hurt even more. Weeks passed. Taehyung searched for answers. Did I do something wrong? Was I becoming annoying? Did he simply outgrow our friendship? Every question remained unanswered. One evening Taehyung finally stopped trying. He smiled in front of everyone. He laughed during interviews. He played games with the members. But every time he saw Jungkook looking away, another invisible crack formed inside his heart. Jungkook noticed every single one. He noticed the forced smile, the fake laughter, the quiet sighs when no cameras were around. Still, he said nothing, because he believed silence was the safest answer. Months later, the company prepared a new project. The members gathered inside the conference room. Ideas flowed naturally. Everyone participated. Except Taehyung and Jungkook. Their distance became impossible to ignore. Namjoon exchanged worried glances with Jin. Jimin quietly looked down at the table. No one wanted to ask. No one wanted to make things worse. After the meeting ended, Taehyung finally spoke. "Can we talk?" Jungkook froze. Every instinct told him to say yes. Fear told him to walk away. Fear won. "I'm busy." Only 2 words. But they echoed inside Taehyung's mind for days. That night he sat alone on the dorm rooftop. The city stretched endlessly beneath him. He wondered whether friendships could disappear without warning. He wondered whether memories eventually lost their meaning. Most of all, he wondered why someone he trusted more than almost anyone had suddenly become a stranger. Across town, Jungkook couldn't sleep. The anonymous messages continued arriving. Each one became darker. Each one more personal. Each one convinced him that keeping Taehyung at a distance was the only way to keep him safe. Until one unexpected afternoon, a package arrived. Inside was a recorder. Jungkook hesitated before pressing play. A distorted voice filled the room. "You think staying away will save him?" The voice laughed. Jungkook's breathing stopped. For the first time, he realized the truth. The person behind everything never wanted physical harm. They wanted emotional destruction. And they had succeeded. Not because of the threats, but because of his silence. He rushed outside immediately. Rain poured heavily. Traffic slowed every road. His phone slipped from his hand. He didn't care. He ran. He only had one destination. The old music studio where Taehyung often spent late evenings writing melodies alone. When Jungkook finally opened the door, Taehyung was sitting at the piano. The melody stopped. Either of them moved. For several long seconds, only the sound of rain filled the room. Finally Jungkook spoke. "I'm sorry." Taehyung didn't answer. Instead, he quietly asked the question he had carried for months. Why? One word. Simple. Heavy. Impossible to escape. Jungkook slowly removed the worn envelope from his backpack. Then another. And another. Letters. Photographs. Threats. Messages. Every secret. Every fear. Every reason. He placed them gently on top of the piano. "I thought protecting you meant walking away." Taehyung stared silently at the letters. His expression slowly changed. Confusion. Disbelief. Shock. Then heartbreak. Not because of the threats, but because Jungkook had chosen to carry the burden alone. For the longest time, Taehyung couldn't find a single word. He simply looked at Jungkook, completely speechless. Tears quietly filled his eyes. "You idiot," he whispered with a trembling smile. "You never had to face this alone." Jungkook lowered his head. "I didn't want you to worry." Taehyung gently shook his head. "Instead, you made me believe I had lost my best friend." The silence returned. But this time, it no longer felt cold. It felt honest. Both understood something important that night. Real friendship isn't built by hiding pain. It grows stronger when pain is shared. Hours passed as they talked openly for the first time in months. Every misunderstanding slowly disappeared. Every unanswered question finally found its place. Outside, the rain gradually stopped. Morning sunlight quietly entered through the studio windows. The darkness that had followed them for so long finally began to fade. Neither of them could erase the months they had lost. Neither could pretend the wounds never existed. But they made a silent promise. No more secrets carried alone. No more silence mistaken for protection. Whatever challenges waited ahead, they would face them together. Because sometimes the strongest bond is not the one that never breaks. It is the one brave enough to heal after breaking. And somewhere beyond the city skyline, as the first rays of sunrise painted the clouds with soft shades of gold, both realized that the greatest secret had never been hidden inside anonymous letters. It had been hidden inside fear. The fear of losing someone so important that even love, friendship, and trust could become clouded by doubt. That fear almost separated them forever. But honesty finally brought them back to the place where they truly belonged, not as people without scars, but as two hearts that had learned the value of speaking before silence could write the ending for them. Their story remained unfinished, because every new sunrise carried another chance to rebuild what once seemed impossible to restore. And perhaps that is why the most unforgettable journeys are not the ones without obstacles, but the ones where hope quietly survives until the very last page. The morning after their heartfelt conversation felt strangely peaceful, Yet neither Taehyung nor Jungkook believed that one night of honesty could erase months of pain. The studio where they had shared their deepest fears now stood quiet again, but the memories left inside its walls would remain with them forever. Sunlight slowly filled the room as Taehyung rested his hands on the piano keys without pressing them. He looked toward Jungkook, who was quietly packing the scattered letters back into the old envelope. "You don't have to keep those anymore," Taehyung said softly. Jungkook looked down. "I don't know if I'm ready to throw them away." Taehyung understood. Sometimes people held on to painful memories not because they wanted to suffer, but because they were afraid history might repeat itself. Without another word, Taehyung reached for the envelope. "If we're going to move forward," he whispered, "we move forward together." Jungkook slowly nodded. For the first time in months, their eyes met without hesitation. Outside, Seoul had already awakened. Cars filled the streets while cafes welcomed early customers. To everyone else, it was another ordinary morning. But for the two friends, it felt like the beginning of a completely different chapter. Back at the dorm, the other members immediately sensed something had changed. Jin noticed first. "You two look lighter." Jimin tilted his head. "Did something happen?" Taehyung exchanged a quick glance with Jungkook before smiling. "We talked." Only 2 words. Yet everyone in the room understood how much those words meant. Namjoon smiled quietly. "Sometimes that's all people need." No one asked for details. Some conversations belonged only to the people brave enough to have them. Days slowly passed. Schedules became busier. Recording sessions continued. Dance rehearsals filled entire afternoons. The cameras captured laughter once again, but there were still moments when silence unexpectedly returned. Healing was never instant. Every now and then Jungkook caught himself wondering whether another anonymous message would arrive. Every unfamiliar phone notification made his heartbeat quicken. He never told anyone. Not even Taehyung. One evening, while everyone else had already gone to sleep, Jungkook sat alone in the practice room. He replayed old choreography while trying to clear his thoughts. The music suddenly stopped. His phone vibrated. Unknown number. His breathing froze. For several seconds he simply stared at the screen. Then, the message disappeared before he could even open it. As if it had never existed. His hands trembled. Was someone still watching? Or was fear itself beginning to control him? The following morning he acted as though nothing had happened. But Taehyung noticed. He always noticed. "You barely slept." "I'm fine." "You said that before?" Jungkook couldn't answer. Instead, he looked toward the large practice room mirror. The reflection staring back at him seemed exhausted. Not physically. Emotionally. Taehyung walked beside him. "You promised." Jungkook slowly closed his eyes. "No more secrets." Those words echoed inside his mind. He finally admitted what had happened. Taehyung listened carefully without interrupting. When Jungkook finished, he expected disappointment. Instead, Taehyung smiled gently. "Fear leaves slowly." Jungkook looked confused. "I don't blame you for feeling afraid. I thought you'd be upset. I would only be upset if you carried it alone again." Those words settled deep inside Jungkook's heart. For months he had believed protecting someone meant isolating himself. Now he realized protection sometimes meant allowing others to stand beside you. That same afternoon the members gathered to record demo tracks. Everyone joked around while waiting for their turn. The atmosphere reminded Jungkook of happier times. During a short break, Taehyung quietly handed him a small notebook. "What's this?" "I've been writing songs." Jungkook flipped through the pages. Most were unfinished. Some contained only short phrases. Others were complete lyrics. one page immediately caught his attention. It simply read, "The loudest distance is created by the quietest goodbye." Jungkook stared silently. "You wrote this?" Taehyung nodded. "The night you walked away after I asked if we could talk?" Jungkook couldn't hide the guilt in his eyes. "I never wanted to become that memory." "You aren't." "What do you mean?" "You became the lesson." Jungkook looked puzzled. Taehyung smiled. "I learned that people can disappear emotionally long before they physically leave." Silence followed. Not uncomfortable silence. Thoughtful silence. The kind shared between people finally willing to understand one another. Several weeks later, preparations for an international concert began. The excitement returned. Costume fittings. Dance rehearsals. Late-night vocal practice. Everyone focused on delivering the best performance possible. Yet during rehearsals, Jungkook occasionally caught someone standing farther away than necessary. A figure wearing a black cap. Always watching. Always disappearing before anyone else noticed. He convinced himself it was probably staff. Still, the uneasy feeling refused to leave. One rainy evening after rehearsal ended, Taehyung found Jungkook standing alone backstage. "You saw someone again." Jungkook nodded slowly. "I'm probably imagining it." "Maybe." "You don't believe me?" "I believe your feelings." Jungkook looked surprised. "But feelings aren't always facts." Those words stayed with him. Fear had a strange way of convincing people that shadows were monsters. Sometimes they were. Sometimes they weren't. The challenge was learning the difference. A few nights later, while organizing old storage boxes inside the company building, Jungkook accidentally discovered something unexpected. Hidden beneath unused equipment lay another unopened envelope. Disclaimer: this video contains a fictional fan-made story created solely for entertainment purposes. The storyline, dialogue, events, and character interactions are entirely the product of imagination and are not based on verified facts or real-life events. Although this story features BTS members, including Kim Taehyung, V, and Jungkook, it does not represent their actual lives, personalities, relationships, or experiences. No claims made in this fictional narrative should be interpreted as factual or taken as real news. This content is not intended to spread misinformation, rumors, or false statements about any individual, group, or organization. It is a creative work inspired by fictional storytelling for fans. If you enjoyed this fan fiction story, please leave a comment with your thoughts, give this video a like, and subscribe for more original fictional stories and entertaining content. Thank you for your support.